all right, I'm in college, I'm almost halfway through, what am I going to do? And so I started thinking about a piece of the only real career advice that I remember getting in my earlier life, or at least that really stuck with me, was my uncle, who said to me, pick something that you love and find somebody to pay you to do it. And that was the career advice, and that stuck with me. I probably was 14 years old when he told me that, and that stuck with me ever since then. So pick something that you love and find somebody to pay you to do that. And it took me a while to grasp what that was, but I remember walking and thinking about that and thinking, what is it that I love? What is it that I'm passionate about? What is it that I would love to do every single day? And I came up with two things. One was sports. Love sports. Anytime, I can watch something, read about sports, think about sports, play sports, coach sports, whatever, I'm there. So that was one thing. The other thing that I thought about is so in high school, twice I had gone to London, and that was my international exposure. And I love being international. And then through, again, I'd been at Houghton for almost 2 years, had exposures in different areas, probably, opportunities hearing other people's experiences. And I really loved the idea of international business. Business excited me, the ideas of what was going on with business excited me, but the idea of putting that extra layer of complexity with international, that got me even more excited. So those were the two things. I wanted to do something in sports, and I wanted to do international business. And then, this is all on the walk, I promise you, it was this walk. Actually, we were at do they still have the tree with the gum? Although at one point it started going like all the way up, but there was one tree. I don't know if it's still the one tree, but I remember being practically to that tree, and it dawned on me. I said, one day I would like to do international sports business. And that kind of framed my vision from then, my sophomore year, until now. And so what did I do about that? Well, I started pestering Professor Bates a lot at that point about what I could do with this. And so two things with my time at Houghton that really stuck out with us. One that was mentioned, I finagled my way to get an internship with the Buffalo Bills. And so that came, talking with Professor Bates, how to do it. He said, well, you could try this or that. I tried those things, and I was able to get that internship. So that got me kind of the sports business side. The other side, the international business side, there's a program that especially you underclassmen, if you haven't heard of it, learn about it. It's still going on, correct? The IBI, the International Business Institute. And I went on that the summer between my junior and senior year. 10 weeks, 11 credits, no, 10 weeks, 11 countries, 12 credits. That's what that program was. And so the professors, they go around with you to the different countries. So you show up in Paris, you get a tour, or no, we showed up at Paris. We were in Paris for 3 days. First day we arrived, put our bags in the hotel, went down to the room, had class. Then went and got a tour of Paris. The next day we had an exam in the hotel restaurant is where they gave us the full exam that you have in any other class that you have, because you're taking 4 classes while you're doing it. We had the exam, and then we went out to Versailles, I think, later that afternoon. It was that kind of thing. So it's the integrating between your studies with your professors. I will tell you that I read more in those weeks than I'd ever read in a condensed period of time. It was like, so it was very intense on the academic side. It wasn't just vacation that I got credit for. It was intense with it, and I imagine it stayed the same with that. But it really exposed me to a lot of things on the international business side. So that was between my junior and senior year, and then I returned and spent the next semester up at the Buffalo campus, where I did my internship with the Bills. And with that, I was responsible. They were just developing a mail order catalog. So that I realize that dates me quite considerably now. So there was nothing on the internet. It was mail order catalog. This was the newest and greatest thing. One other team, the Green Bay Packers in the NFL, was doing this at the time. So if you can imagine how it is in the NFL now with the way that they sell everything, the Bills were the second team to do that. Probably one of the few things that they were actually innovative on. And a lot of that actually stemmed from a Houghton alum that I believe he came and spoke last year, Don Purdy, who was my boss with them. So I worked on that, and it was great. And then on game days, I got involved with someone else that he helped me. I managed. They have these mega suites that hold 500 people each. So if you don't want to buy a box with 15, 18, or 20 people in it, you just wanted 2 or 4 tickets, but you wanted the amenities of a box, you could get it in this mega suite. So I helped on game days manage one of those. So it was a great experience. I loved it. I wanted to continue working for the Buffalo Bills. And so I approached them about it. They said, "We'd love to have you. You're great. We like everything about you. We're ready to hire you. It'll be $18,000. Well, I'm not from the area. I grew up in Maryland. I have no family, up in the area. There's nothing. $18,000, you might be able to get by if you're living at home, mooching off mom and dad for food, and making that work. And that's, but I didn't have those amenities, so that really wasn't a possibility for me. So the advice that I was given at the time was, if you want to make money in sports business, go create a market value for yourself somewhere else in a different industry, and then come back to this industry. And then they'll pay for, because right now everybody wants to work for the Buffalo Bills. Who doesn't want to work for the Buffalo Bills? So we can find capable college grads for $18,000. As a side note, today that $18,000 is, and by the way, that number was the same pretty much anywhere in sports that you wanted to get a job entry level. Today that number is about $26,000. So just if that's an industry of what you're thinking, that's how you can equate to where it is now. So go create a market value for yourself in another industry and then come back, because then they're willing to pay more at the market value of the skill set if they value that skill set and they want you to come work for them. So I took that to heart, and so then I started thinking, well, the other thing I want to do is international business. I had these two things that if someday I could get them to combine, that would be great. So I said, all right, let's think about this international business side. And there was an opportunity with Cardone. They had a recruiter that came through. I knew nothing about Cardone Industries, what they did, what they were about. For those of you that don't know, they remanufacture car parts. So they take an old car part and make it new again. And they sell it to Napa, AutoZone, Pep Boys. Then they even sell to like GM and Honda and Toyota and some of those for their warranty work. So likelihood, if you go and get your car fixed, unless it's brand spanking new, if you go get it fixed, the majority of times the part that gets put in your car will be a remanufactured part. Or in today's environment, it could be new from, made over in Asia. So I knew nothing about this company, but as I did my research on it, one of the things that I learned, it's a family-owned company. They were saturated in their product lines in the United States, and things that I learned from my classes at Houghton as well as on the IBI was that when there's two ways of growing when you're saturated in your own market. You grow by adding product lines, and you grow by going international. And they were adding product lines, and it's a family-owned business, and the son at the time was getting his MBA from Thunderbird, which is an international business program. So that told me the family's thinking about going international, because why else would you send the son of the company to go get a degree in international business? So they offered me a job, and one of the things that I remember, I'll tell you this little story. I remember calling, so I'd finished at this point. My internship had ended, and I had gone back to Maryland, and I was looking for jobs. I was looking with other sports teams, and I was looking for things that I thought could be in international business. And the opportunity with Cardone came up, and I remember I called Professor Bates up, and I said, I got this offer, but I don't know if this is the right thing to do. I don't know if long-term I want to be doing this. And I said, I'm used to thinking in semesters. You know, my whole life, you know, it's all semesters. Since high school, everything ends after the semester, and it's like a restart then. And so, you know, now it's like my dad had worked, just so you know, my dad was a high school math teacher, and he had worked at the same job for 32 years. So, you know, that was the vision that I had been given, is you get a job and you work there, you know, pretty much your life. So one of the pieces of advice Professor Bates gave to me at the time was, well, think of it like a semester. Every 6 months, reevaluate. You know, reevaluate where you are, what you want to do, and decide if you want to continue on or if you want to make a change at that time. So that's one of the things that actually I instilled at that time, and for a very long time, that was something that every 6 months I sat down, and actually I scared some of my bosses at Cardone because actually I told them this. Well, I'm kind of reevaluating everything right now. It's my 6-month period. I want to talk to you about this, and they didn't quite know how to handle that. It's not typically what they got when they got in. But that goes to one of the things that I was thinking about, that aspect, is the stay true to yourself. So when I talk about stay true to yourself, every 6 months I was sitting back and thinking and evaluating, where am I? Where do I want to be? I have my vision. Where do I want to go? Am I on the right track? Am I being true to what my vision is? Am I being true to what I want to do? All of those things. So and with Cardone, I had the vision. I was like, you know what? I'll work there on the domestic side for 2 years. Then they'll probably go international. And then after 2 years, I'll know everything. And so then I'll go, they'll want me on the international side because of my international background. Well, one thing that you will learn, I'm sure, especially the seniors in here, the juniors and seniors, you guys pretty much know everything now, right? Does anyone not know everything yet? Okay, I didn't think so. You know, when you graduate, you feel like, I know everything, I'm ready to take on the world. And in many cases, I will say that you're right, but in many cases, I will say you're wrong.